Senior Report thanks Edmund Besch of Bristol Burgess Insurance Agency, 65 East Main Street, Westfield, for his generous grant to provide news to seniors. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Funding for Senior Report is provided in part by a grant from Andrew Goodell, Assemblyman for the 150th District of the New York State Assembly. Dave Cass and Rick Newell provide funding on behalf of the Lakeview Hotel and Restaurant at the Docks, located on Water Street near the lake in Mayville. Senior Report with Reed Powers thanks Westfield's Schultz Chevy for a generous grant to inform seniors of important news. Over 50 years of service to Westfield by Chevrolet, Schultz Chevy across from the school. The physicians of Jamestown Primary Care are happy to sponsor the Senior Report. From the Access Channel 5 television studio in Mayville, it's Senior Report with Reed Powers. Senior Report is broadcast live throughout northern Chautauqua County on Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. each week. Call in and share a thought, make a comment, ask a question, or simply wish someone a happy birthday on Chautauqua County's only live call-in senior program. Since 1995, Reed has been bringing viewers hundreds of interesting guests, informing the community on a variety of subjects.
How it goes.
Here's the host of the show, Reed Powers.
And good morning. What a beautiful day in Chautauqua County, although it is a wee touch nippy. It's down around 40 here in Mayville, but it'll warm up, don't worry. And we're getting that blessed rain we needed, and it's just, everything's fantastic. And up in the woods are growing the leeks, and I will be talking about that shortly. And I'll show you how to eat them and collect them and everything else. Happy birthday to Randy and Justin Burt. Born a day apart, believe it or not. Yesterday and today, huh? Or today and tomorrow.
Years.
Yeah, Randy's dad, incidentally, to Justin. I want to say we're going to have a great program. We're going to talk about the Masons. We're going to talk about their identification programs they have for children and seniors. We're going to talk about all kinds of wonderful things, and call-ins are welcome, remember. You see the salt here? Yeah, that's a very important part, integral part of eating leeks, I might add, which are not really leeks. I'll show you the difference. Okay. Got a show coming on that'll be fascinating, as I said. Don't go away, and you've got to watch the leaks. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got some Senior Report news here. I'm not going to talk much about the national news. It's just sickening, some of it. All the crazy things going on, the people that are kidnapping and killing, and that's all we hear about. We don't hear about the wars where we're wasting billions and trillions of dollars killing our kids all over in Afghanistan. But that's the way it is. That's the national policy. Great Belt Seniors, I've got a note from them. They're going to see the Treasures of Quebec by rail tour. And if you want to go, they have a waiting list. You might get on, very cheap, Marianne Serio at 672-5274. 5274. They're going to have a potluck luncheon over there at the Great Belt Center. May 22nd, coming right up. And flower arranging will be taught. Bring in some flowers, scissors and stuff and everything, $1 or something for the cost of the stuff you're going to be using. And incidentally, flower arranging is really a great art. It's so simple and so beautiful to set up a nice arrangement. And it just takes a moment if you know what you're doing. They have the Readers Theater where they read together, and don't miss that. Lakeshore Seniors, they meet at the Dunkirk Senior Center. They have a fabulous place there, a big old school. and they can run laps during the winter because they have the hall set up in such a way. You just run right around and around. But over there, if you want to get involved with them, they're meeting the president over there, Stella Mikulak. Get in touch with Stella. Next meeting will be 29th of May in Hammock and Aberdeen Jacobowski will be doing it. They're having a Father and Mother's Day combination dinner coming right up, May 22nd. You won't want to miss that. That'd be good. Pioneer Social Club is just a fun group over in Forestville, and they have Ruth Kuhn is the president, and if you want to get involved there, you can always have a chat with her. Also get in touch with Dorothy Merrill. Again, seniors, you have these nice centers. Don't miss out on them. Don't waste. Go, attend, be part of the gang. Happy birthday over there to Dolores Valvo and Norma Youngberg and Judy Hahn. Hey, Pioneer crowd. They gave some money to the Forestville Food Pantry. You know, a lot of the seniors donate stuff, money, time, work, labor, and even housing space to a lot of different organizations, and that's the wonderful part about it. They're going to have they got a lot of good things going over there. Don't miss them. All right, now, Share and Care is having their annual fling. It's April, wait a minute, it's already gone. What am I reading that for? May 14th is just past too. They had a great time. Auction sale and club. And anybody over there, don't miss it. Silver Creek Seniors, the guy who runs it is Ed Newman. Don't miss him. They have their own clubhouse there. Believe it or not, yeah. And everything's great. Now, as it turns out, we're going to have to we're going to cut John Hamels, Doc, out of a lot of his time because I'm going to do leaks. So anyway, here he is, and he shoots from the hook. Doc, you're on.
Good morning, Reed. And right along with the show today, I decided to bring my sound effect for the show because it's springtime. Ready?
Yes, it is.
Can you hear that?
Are those frogs or toads?
The frogs.
Okay.
I'm sure of it. Every year I go outside and I record them. It's just unbelievably loud out in where I live.
It's a beautiful song too. I mean, they do have a beautiful song, and you can hear them early spring. And incidentally, this is the time the leeks grow too. The ramps.
That's
grow.
why I brought the music. It was music for your leeks.
It's called a harbinger of the spring, and they have it in fine restaurants all over the world.
Well, we'll get to that here shortly. Well, Reed, I know we've got a lot to do today, and the crew and I, we have been anticipating today like no other show because we know it's your annual leek show.
Well, that's when I eat them, just to show people that
I had them last year.
It's all nonsense.
Yum, yum.
It's nonsense and bunkum about how strong they are. They're delicious. They have a wonderful flavor.
We're ready for you.
Yeah, we'll be going here.
All right, well, let me get my piece in here, and then we'll get to that.
Okay, your time is up.
Not yet. I haven't got started yet. Okay, today, folks, best deal in town. From 5 to 9 o'clock tonight, I invite you to the annual Westfield Mayville Rotary Auction. We have well over 130 things that have been donated. We have a great salon package that includes a massage and dinner and all kinds of great things. $400 value from Bella Salon and Day Spa. I ran into the guys from Zebros yesterday, and they said, well, make sure you mention us because we're part of it because they donated and they're going to be here at the auction tonight. It's going to be in Easton Hall this year. And then I also wanted to make mention the Bark Grill has been very good to us, and they added to the salon package I just mentioned from Bella's.
Easton Hall is right in the middle of Westfield, right next to the Park Diner, and or just over. And it's Westfield is the place to go.
Right, it's on Elm Street. But the thing is, it's $10. They take people at the door. The $10 gets you a chicken barbecue dinner, a chance to win $500, and all the beer and soft drinks you can drink, Reed.
And I can drink $10
You
worth
can
of beer.
drink your $10
Easily,
worth.
right there,
Easy.
just the beer.
But it's a great time. We anticipate probably close to 300 people, and it's a wonderful opportunity for us to raise money for our community. The money all goes back into the towns that we represent in Brockton, Westfield, Mayville, Ripley, Sherman, and so forth. And we support so many of the community projects. But again, it's tonight, 5 to 9, and it's a great night. It's kind of
Tonight is Saturday.
Saturday,
Tonight is Saturday.
May 11th.
The
All
11th.
Well, Reed he's tuning up, folks. So why don't you cut away for him, and I'm gonna stick around for the annual. Oh, we have.
She missed in the commercial.
All right,
Might
this is
want it today.
all right. This is says Reed. This is Alaskan springtime Febreze air effects.
Well, how about that?
Just in case, I'll put it right next to your cat food there.
Okay.
So back to you, Reed.
Okay. I want to thank you, John. We have every year in the spring, between March and May, you have the leeks growing up in the hills. They're not really leeks. Colloquially, everybody here calls them leeks. They're actually ramps, R-A-M-P-S, like the throughway ramp where you exit. And the ramps are quite different from a leek. This is a leek. I brought one for you. This is a leek. It's a great big elongated onion.
We're ready, Reed.
You can't handle it? It's not bad, you know.
No, it's not that- it's
Great
not
big
big
long onion, and you chop it up and you eat it, and that's called a leek. It's commercially available all over the world, and you can get them in your supermarket. I got this at Tops here in Mayville this morning, and that is a leek. This right here, and I've got some pictures of these. I wanted to show them to you, I might add. Do we have those pictures available, by the way? Okay, there's the way they grow up in the woods. Millions of them. I can show you where several big patches of them, but the biggest one is on the corner of Lyons Road and the Sherman-Westfield Road that goes up to Sherman from Westfield. You know, you cross the viaduct, hang a left, and just go about, I don't know, it's probably 7 miles almost, 6.5, 7 miles. And that's a clump of them. They grow in little clumps. And this is what the individual leek looks like. You can see that. It looks like a lily of the valley leaf, if you know what they look like. And you get them in a clump, you dig the clump up, and you have to soak it a while to loosen it up. There's a bunch of them again, and that's the way they grow in the woods. And they're free. And I always ask the farmer, although I have places I go now, and they always say, sure, take them away. Nobody cares. And there's so many, they grow so fast. Although they take a while to reclaim. Incidentally, in the fall, when you don't see any sign of the leek, it's all dried up and gone. They shoot up about a 2-foot high, just a stem, out of nowhere because there's nothing there. It just grows up, and then it opens up, and there's a bunch of little teeny weeny cloves. You take those and sprinkle them around. You have a whole bed of leeks immediately. Now the way you prepare them is you have to separate them, and they're in a kind of a clump. You get the dirt out of it, swirl it around in a bucket for a while, and then you take it and you separate them, and you take I just take the root and nip it off like that. Although you can use your thumbnail. If you got a good thumbnail, you don't even have to fool with that. And then I like to snap off the leaves to make it really nice. And then the secret is you need salt. I use fine salt for this. And you put the salt in a little dish like that, and you're ready to eat your leeks. And they are delicious. I'll tell you a little bit about them. They grow, incidentally, they grow all over the place March and May in this area, and the Northeast. They're very, very much. They're called the Herald of Spring, and again, they're not leeks. They're ramps, like the throughway ramp. They suddenly become very popular. Up in Quebec, they're endangered because they're eating so darn many of them, because the French love them. At Le Café Anglais, which is a very famous restaurant, they use it. They make a roast bream fish with it. At the Quo Vadis, a very famous restaurant, Jeremy Lee, who's a chef there, asked them on puts them on everything. He says it's wonderful. It's a wonderful green garlic essence. And the Iron Chef last night, I was watching it. By coincidence, he whipped out some of these ramps, and he made a pesto sauce out of them. And everybody just thought it was incredibly good. Okay, the strange thing about it is, for all its poignancy of the smell, it is gentler than normal garlic. It is a wild garlic, and it's just delicious. It's wonderful chopped French style in an omelet with goat's milk, cheese dotted on top, and butter and risotto, and incredible. There's no end of the wonderful things you can use these for. I'm going to show you what they look like when I finish. As you notice, I just did one for you. And I've got a whole bunch of them here, because I'm going to eat every one of them. I love
it.
Oh, John.
I'm ready.
It's just going to go into my gullet. So
I'm prepared.
John is a scaredy cat.
No, I ate one last year. I knew better.
Yeah, well, the way you protect yourself from the strong aroma is you eat one. Now, see, you take it, and you dip it in the salt like that.
Little dipper.
And you have this nice little bulb. Munch on it. Sweet, wonderful fragrance. It's very young. These guys are small. That's the way you want them. I'll do another one.
Well, while he's eating, last year Jim Subject was here, and he came back into the engineering room, and he was crying his eyes out. And I was here, and I ate one last year. They're delicious, but Reed, you must have had them like soaked or something, because I didn't smell anything. Randy, did you smell anything yet? No. So
Well,
I guess it's safe to take off my protective gear.
Yeah.
What do you think? All right. You know what, Reed? I'll have one with you.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go. They are delicious. Here.
I was prepared. All right.
Here you go.
All right. Thank you.
There's a little one.
There's a little one. All right. See, I like onions and garlic, so that's delicious.
Yeah.
But they're not strong. Chris is still standing.
No, they're not strong. People widely carry on about how strong they are and everything. They're not really that bad. You want one? Want to try one? I'll give you a little one.
Beware, Lee.
Here's our guest,
Delicious.
Lee Roof. Just pull up some salt with it. Make sure it's well salted. And then you just snap it down, just the bulb. Don't take any of the stem.
It's got a little.
It has
little
a very.
Here comes Randy. Randy's going in.
Randy's
Come on.
digging in. Here we go,
Go,
Randy.
Randy. Go, Randy. Here he goes, folks. Live. The birthday boy. Down he goes.
Yeah.
Down he goes.
He's
Oh,
our.
my God.
He's
He'll be all right, Randy. He'll be all right.
Randy's our class clown. If you hadn't noticed. I'm gonna eat another couple here. I already ate a whole bunch of them. You can go get a 5-gallon can of them up in the woods, and they're free. Takes a few minutes just to dig them up, soak them, split them, and prepare them. And incidentally, I will give you a hint. The biggest ocean of leeks in this area, again, is up on the Westfield Sherman Road at Lyons Road.
Oh, yeah.
There used to be a mill down at the bottom, Lyons Road. Now it's just up the Sherman Road a little bit. But at the corner of Lyons Road and the Westfield Sherman Road, you will see acres of them, millions of them. And they give you permission, at least Mr. Ram does, and he owns a lot of them just up the road on Lyons Road. And dig up a few, and you'll be well rewarded. You will have something that only the old people know about in Chautauqua County. The young kids don't know anything about it. You don't realize what a wonderful, wonderful taste treat they are.
Reed, do you find that some years that they're stronger than others? Like this year, I didn't smell them at all. Maybe because you had no plastic bag, but last year it was.
No, you've been inured from last year.
It must be my vaccination I had or something. But last year it was really, really strong. We were anticipating today, but it's not too bad this year.
I'm eating one right
Not
now.
bad. I will put that in a dish.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah, it's very good.
Salad. As I said, Iron Chef
Iron Chef.
Mario Bartelli made them last night, and I was quite surprised. What a coincidence. We made a pesto sauce out of them, and apparently they were just delicious. Everybody's raving about it. We won the Iron Chef thing. Okay, enough said. Go up, pick up a few in the spring. They're all over the place, but as I said, Lyons Road and Sherman Road, in that corner, you will find zillions, millions. And if you just drive up and down Sherman Road a little ways, you'll see them all over the place. Grab a couple of clumps. If you see a farmer around, ask him permission. But I've already got permission over at Mr. Ram's side of it. Go ahead and have some fun. And as I said, it's simple. Dig up a clump, soak it in water a while, split up the roots, nip the roots off, nip the stem back a little bit, and there's a little peel on it and a little bit of stuff, and you just take your finger and go like that, and it just flies right off once you remove the root. And they're just outrageously good. Okay, enough said. We're going to move on. We do have a program. I have a public service announcement for you. This is for you. I think.
Welcome to Cook It Safe Challenge, where teams compete to make the right decisions about safe food preparations. Our challenge in this round, read and follow packaged cooking instructions and use a food thermometer. Let's see how our teams are doing so far. Team 1.
We just got 100 points.
We separated our raw food from our cooked food.
Team 2.
We got a 100-point green card for proper hand washing before our meal prep.
We've reached a critical safety point in the challenge. Okay, Team 1, let's check this out. Uh-oh, not a safe internal temperature for those hamburgers. That puts everyone at high risk for foodborne illness. You get a red card, undercooked. Always read and follow the packaged cooking instructions and use a food thermometer. Let's see how our winning team cooked it safe and avoided problems.
Well, I just kept focused on the 4 food safety steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill.
And we followed the packaged cooking instructions and took the temperature.
Can you cook it safe?
Be able to cook, and especially gentlemen who say, oh, the macho types, oh, I don't cook. The women do cooking. That's the worst bull you ever heard in your life. The greatest chefs, the Escoffier, etc., male. And every man should be able to cook simple stuff. You don't have to be able
Welcome to Cook It Safe.
There you go. Okay, guys. I'm going to have there'll be an announcement of sorts when I'm ready for a leak. They tell me they'll separate my leak eating out so that I don't exhaust them immediately. Right. Okay, we have with us John Hamels, who is a master mason, has led the Masons in the area many times, and we have Lee Roof, who is roof like the house.
Right.
And they're going to show you and tell you a little bit about some of the Mason programs they have, which are wonderful. They benefit our community. But one of the most important ones is the Children's and Adults Identification Program. And this way they make a record of the kid's fingerprints, and if he suddenly disappears, they have it. I don't know if you take DNA yet, but that probably wouldn't be a bad thing to do also, but if the parents would permit it. So here we go. With no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to John Hamels, who will announce what's going to happen here.
Okay, thanks, Reed. Let's see. I'm trying to see. There I am. Okay, well, we got kind of a different setup here, folks. We're going to have different cameras and so forth, and we are going to show you a few things. But I think the first thing off is I'm going to ask Lee to tell us a little bit about the history of the program and who it's for and so forth. So, Lee, let's take it one step at a time.
Lee Roof, you're on.
Let's look up there.
The program actually started on the national basis with a group called Masonic, and I believe it was started with a gentleman from out of Massachusetts who had apparently had a child that was kidnapped and came up missing, and he was asked questions about having information about his child, and the most current photo he had was a year old. At that time we used cameras instead of cell phones, and didn't have a real close-up photo of the child, so it was hard to come up with something to be able to identify the child quickly. So he thought this would be a great idea, to come out with a identification program to prepare parents ahead of time to have information on hand that they can update yearly and be able to present the package to the police when they're in a situation of duress. That way they don't have to try to remember situations such as whether or not they have scars, whether or not they have birthmarks, identifying features.
Tattoos now.
Tattoos now, exactly. And so a lot of this information gets missed if it's not recorded, and it makes it more complicated for law enforcement to locate the child. We, the Masons, have taken this program on as a project.
You had a long time, haven't you?
I believe it's something like 10 years now.
Yeah.
We started out with the video, and now we do just the child ID, photograph, and fingerprinting. We do not keep any of the information. All the information that we take down and record goes onto a CD. We present a CD, a card similar to this, it's called an identification card, and on that card is contained information such as date of birth, hair, eyes, race, height, weight, glasses, and gender, some identifying features. I have a test teddy bear here that we did the photo with. And then on the back of the ID card is a fingerprint of the child. This card can be used if parents keep it in their wallet or purse when they go into a store and the child gets away from them and they can't find him if they're running around the store looking for the child. They can take this card out of their purse and run to the front door and present it to security and say, this is my child.
It has a nice picture, too. Of the,
and the thing that they're doing now in security is that if you have a picture ready, you snap it onto your iPhone, and they send it to all the folks in the store, and within seconds, everybody knows what your child's going to look like.
Exactly.
You know, Lee, I was thinking about this program before we went on the air, and when I was probably about 5 years old, my brother was 4, we were in Sears down in Buffalo, and my father was shopping, and we were just in the hardware section, and my brother started to panic because he couldn't see my dad. Well, of course, you know, we're only about 3 feet tall. And so my brother started crying and crying. And then this man came up and says, "What's the matter?" And we said, "We can't find our dad." And of course, they got on the intercom, which really went well with my dad. My dad is a real laid-back guy. You know, and what's your name? And we told him. And, you know, my dad was like 2 rows over. But another time, we were up in Watertown, New York, and we were in a Walmart. And my son Justin was probably about the same age, right around 4 years old, and we were shopping around, and we lost him. Had no idea where he went. And we're going all over the place, and my wife is starting to panic, you know.
Right.
And we had no current picture of him, but what happened was he got inside, you know, those round racks where you have all, he was hiding in there. He thought he was having a great old time, but we couldn't have identified him right then and there. So, and when your mind is like that, I'm sure, just like you were saying, under duress, you can't think of, well, how tall is the child? Does he have a birthmark, or is that his sister? You
What's he look like?
Yeah, and so even right now, if I got lost out in the woods, I don't know if my wife has a current picture
Well,
of
they
me.
should do these cards for the fathers. I know that.
For fathers, absolutely. Especially when I'm at an antique fair or someplace. Where is my husband? He's out there somewhere.
With the advent of senior citizens having Alzheimer's cases, having dementia, coming up missing, currently in the news, we've run into several of them. It's becoming a major concern now, so we're also doing senior citizens.
Absolutely. You know, and I think at least twice a year we hear about someone that was out going for a walk with somebody and they got separated, and unfortunately it didn't always work out so well, but maybe if they had an ID and unfortunately I suppose you need the ID for later on if you do have to identify the body or something like that. You know?
Well, hopefully
we lose
that
a lot
doesn't
of
happen.
seniors to freezing, people with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think, are your fingerprints on record anywhere? I don't know if I'm trying to think of mine, or maybe with the
As far as
draft.
I know, mine
don't
are
know.
not.
Yeah.
But
When I was in the military, I have mine done.
Right, but I mean, but most people, I don't know if they would have their fingerprints anywhere.
I've never been
At
privy.
least not handy, you know. But you know, we talked about the Masons, Lee, but you and I are both active Masons.
Right.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what Masons are and, you know, what's their purpose here?
okay,
Uh-oh. What's that?
that's a turkey.
Well, thank you.
Well, I did want to.
I thought it was a call coming in. Oh, is that a leak time? Is that what that?
That's supposed to be the leak time, but it doesn't really give us the right kind of a sound, as far as I'm concerned. That's a very strange sound, but we'll try this one right
All
here.
right, this is time for leaks. All right.
This leak time,
All
and
right,
I'm going
careful
to.
now. Some of those buttons are
I'm going to
loaded.
hit it. Let's see what happens here.
Oh no!
Leak time.
That'll work. All right,
One leak. Here
time.
we go. Thank you.
Thank you for the commercial break. Crunch.
We have a phone call. You want to answer the
Don't
phone?
be kissing any of the girls today, there, Reed.
Want to answer the phone?
We got a phone call?
Yeah.
Let's have. This is a live show, Lee.
Yeah. Good morning, caller. You're on.
Good morning.
What's up?
Good morning, leak breath.
Good morning.
First off, I'd like to say, I'd like to tell you that there's a different group of seniors who are on their from Westfield who are on their senior trip in New York this weekend, and I hope they're having a good time. And I also have a question for your guest. You were talking about the Masons and their child ID program.
Yep.
Are there programs that they have that are specifically for seniors also?
Yes, you mean where we go into senior centers, nutrition sites. We are in the process of trying to get some sites. We have one coming up, I know, in South Dayton, and I think near the end of the summer months. I'm not quite sure of the date yet. It hasn't been totally established, but we are trying to get make people aware of it, and yes, we will go wherever they want us to go.
There you go, caller.
Okay.
Now
well, I kind of was referring to like any programs that the Masons specifically do for seniors, rather than talking to them. But do they have, like they're having a child ID program for children?
Okay.
Do they have any specific programs that they do for seniors?
We do an identification program just for seniors.
Ah.
Okay.
That's
In other words,
important.
and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Lee and I are going to actually run through the program. That's why we have this equipment here. But it's just like the child ID program, but it's the senior ID program.
Well, I shall look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Okay,
very
thank
welcome.
you, caller.
Thank you.
Send me a stamped self-addressed envelope. I'll send you a $5 gift certificate to that lovely little restaurant at the foot of the hill here in Mayville.
A delicious little restaurant.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's get back to Masons. Who are they, and what's their purpose as far as the organization?
Well, the Masons are a fraternal organization, just like in the colleges. They have college fraternities and sororities. And we're an older group of individuals who have a great interest in our communities. We have a great interest in events that we have for ourselves and for other people.
You're, I believe, the oldest existing fraternal group in the world.
Could very well be.
Because
Could
you
very well
built Solomon's Temple, among other things. That was,
Right.
what was that, 5,000 years BC or something? And,
Right.
And you had to know how to lay the bricks. You can't just build a temple. You got to know what to do.
Well, there's
And
a
that's-
lot of mathematics and
right.
lots of formulas
And
in there. and so
the
on.
Masonic symbol has the compass on it, and you need a protractor for the angles, and you've got to get everything exactly right, or the walls will come tumbling down like in Jericho.
Right.
Very much so. It actually started with the idea by stone masons, the actual working people who built buildings and temples. And they were good at their art, and there was a lot of them. And as they progressed through society, they needed to be able to have their education had to be of such where they could build, and they became professionals in their trade.
Right.
Well, as time went on, the need for temple builders became less and less, and so their membership started to deplete, and they invited people who believed in the same standards that they did.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, we became we call them, the difference was the speculative Masons and the current Masons of today.
Right.
And so as time goes on, it has become the Masonic fraternity that it is today. Now, a lot of people look at this country, and there were a lot of Masons that were involved during the Revolution.
All the
George
presidents,
Washington,
the earlier,
Franklin,
the
Thomas
earlier
Jefferson.
people
And it
in
was-
government were all Masons.
Many
Right.
of them, yeah.
George
And-
Washington, I might add.
Right.
Yes, George
Signers
Washington.
of the Constitution.
Yeah.
And they had a strong belief in within the fraternity, and they wanted to take that belief and use it as a tool to get people together to help this country form.
Here's another leak.
Oh, leak time.
Leak time.
Well, there we go. Okay, you have to put a lot of salt on them, guys. Thank you.
Okay, so but in modern times now, our Masonic lodges, that's what you would call the local organization. There's what, 6 or 7 in Chautauqua County?
Yes, there's at least 6 or 7.
Right. I'm a member of the Olive Lodge over in Sherman. Where are you at?
I'm from Silver Lodge in Silver Creek.
Okay, we have a caller.
Yeah, we got a
we're
caller.
popular
Good morning,
today.
caller. Hello there.
You.
You're on.
Hi, it's great to see you on the show and to hear what your organization is doing. What a wonderful thing to prepare people to identify their children and to be prepared.
It is a great idea.
And for adults, we're going to be talking about adult ID also, Linda. And maybe you guys will be interested in this program.
This is Linda Spalding for you people who don't recognize her sweet voice.
I'll mention this to Mary Ann. You know, my grandson had an identification card, but it wasn't from the Masons, and it was quite a few years ago. At least 10 years ago, when they were living in Arizona at the time. And they sent me that ID card, and it was a great thing to have.
Sure, especially if the kid gets separated.
Yes.
And I like John's thought, because in today's modern world, where everybody has a little cell phone that they're carrying around, you can put the picture on the cell phone in a store, and everybody in the store will see that picture immediately and be looking for the kid.
Or police agencies.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Great.
There you go. So, Linda, what's new with you over there?
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your vegetables from the earth.
Oh,
the
yes,
ramps.
we're all enjoying it.
The ramps are fantastic, Linda. Just fantastic.
You know, I can actually smell it here in my living room.
Well, actually.
You see, everybody thought I was kidding. Thank you for backing me up, Linda.
Yeah, I think I'll get one of those masks out. No, I'm just kidding.
What you've got to do is grow up, Linda. They are delicious. They're served at the fanciest restaurants in the world. And I'll tell you something else. They're free. All you can eat. Ramp.
Yeah, I really do like them. I like onions, and I like the onion family and garlic and leeks.
Well, they call this a spring onion or the ramp.
Yeah.
Up here, colloquially, we call them leeks, which this is a leek. It has nothing to do with these guys, the ramps.
Well, you know, the first time I had the leek was in Northern Ireland, leek soup.
Oh,
it was delicious.
Vichyssoise, leek and potato soup. Oh,
yes.
Elegant and sweet and delicious and incredibly creamy and good.
I've had that.
Well, I just wanted to announce that people are being hired in our program.
Okay.
We're going to have some openings with the Senior Aid Program. Businesses are calling us. We just celebrated 40 years with the Office for the Aging being in existence. We had a great celebration at the Stowe Senior Citizen Center with the National Council of Senior Citizens, and awards were given. And especially for our program, we recognize Doyle Security and Jamestown Meals on Wheels for their awareness of and appreciation of the senior worker, because they've hired a lot of seniors through us. And we do have openings. We have our computer training going on that is free. And I encourage people to contact us and call our office for those services and others.
Okay, what's your number? Just one number. If you give them two numbers, you confuse me.
All right, one number.
I'm a senior.
Mayville.
You confuse me.
Okay.
One number.
753-4471 in Mayville.
Okay, now if you want to get in touch with the Office for the Aging and you need a job, you tell me there are some available, correctly?
Yes, there are. People are being hired, quite a few.
Okay, good enough. It's nice to see the job market opening up around here.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm going to drop by later and give you some fresh leeks. They're ramps, actually. And I know you're going to enjoy them.
Well, thank you.
And make sure you give one to your dog. You know, the protection from the fragrance, which is admittedly a little bit fragrant, but it's tastes much milder. And the way you beat it is just like eating garlic, you know. You eat one yourself, and then you don't even smell it. There's nothing there.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you eat enough of them, you won't smell it on yourself or anybody else. Okay.
You sweat it. It's like garlic. You know, people eat garlic. It comes out in the perspiration, and they smell like a garlic bud. Okay.
No, but they are great, and they
No,
are
they are.
good for you. They're very healthful.
Sure, and they're just so tasty and sweet, and you can do so much with them. Salads, pesto sauce. You can make all kinds of other sauces out of them. You can cook them with fish. Oh, my God, they're fantastic.
I always cook with something from the onion family.
Well, I like to just eat them this way. I'll tell you what, this is, there we go, see? I like to dip them in salt and put plenty of salt on them. I lick them sometimes, so I get a lot of salt.
Well, have a great day and a great
Thanks,
weekend.
Linda.
Thank you.
Okay, well, you know, our time is slowly drifting here, but let me just conclude what we were talking about. Masons do a lot of services within our communities, scholarship programs, things like this. There's a blood screening program?
Blood screening program. Matter of fact, there's one going on today,
Right,
I
they-
believe, down in Sherman.
Right. So there's lots of things that you're going to see connected to the Masons and their service organization as far as helping fellow men and women and that. But let's get to the ID program for seniors. Now, how long has the program been running for seniors now? Is this something new?
It's actually started the beginning of this year. We had visited with the people from the Division of Criminal Justice, Bureau of the Home of the Missing, and they expressed a major interest in the missing senior citizens and covering them. We show them our program so that we're on the same page. We're in partnership with the National National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and we've now they are also helping us to incorporate into senior citizens because too many of them are coming up missing. They're walking away, not
These are
coming home.
mostly people with Alzheimer's, I assume, because that.
Alzheimer's, right?
Or just confused.
Or yeah,
Well, John, I saw you wandering around not too long ago, and I know you don't have Alzheimer's.
Yeah, my wife would agree with that. Well, Lee, let's do a little role playing here. I'm going to be one of this. I am a senior. What am I talking about? I'll be a senior.
You won't pretend to be a senior.
I don't even. It's a debate who's a senior, who's not a senior. So I guess I'm like a junior senior. Anyways, let's go through the steps so that people can see what it's all about. And I'm going to ask you questions as someone that might be a little apprehensive. All right.
Right.
So the first question I have is, why do you want this information?
Well, it's not for us. We don't store this information in any way.
All right.
It's information that we take and put it into the computer only to create a record that the police agencies can use or the parents can use to track their child.
Okay, because on this show, we're always telling seniors, don't give away personal information.
Correct.
Be careful who you talk to. And we're telling you this is a bona fide organization that's going to protect your information because once you're done, it's gone, right? It's not stored anywhere. Okay, so what do we got to do here?
Okay, what we would normally do is we go through and we do ask information,
Okay, like
but
what?
we're typing and doing this process, so we aren't able to retain it,
Okay.
because we're going so fast. But we type in information such as height, weight.
Whoa. Women never want to talk about their weight.
I know.
Or their age.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Like I said,
What if I don't want to tell you that? Is that all right?
I type it and go on.
So I would just suggest, figure 25 pounds less. But remember,
Hey, we take
knock
your
off
word.
5 years, Okay, so what else? Go height, weight, what else we got?
Eye color, hair color, glasses. We do race. We do blood type on some of it. Not many people know their
I was
blood
going to
type.
say, and that's something, if you're watching the show, right? Oh, we're getting the shot right now
There you
of the
go.
screen, all right? This is
Right,
what it
there you
looks
go.
like.
Doesn't have tattoos there. You know that is.
Well, we'll get to that now.
Okay, all
There's
right,
a place for
because,
that.
that's one of the big identifiers today.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of guys that
Interestingly
were in
enough.
service or women. They've got tattoos, sure.
Oh, sure. They all have on their ankle a butterfly.
All right, or mom or whatever. But all right, so again, this is voluntary, right? Now,
Very
can we
voluntary.
skip any of these?
The thing is if we have an individual who wants to skip, we're not forcing
Okay.
anybody to
all right.
do this.
That's
This
the point I'm
is
trying to make. This is
voluntary.
user friendly.
This
All
is
right, so
user-friendly.
what else we got to put in there?
We do birth date, and then we go into distinguished marks, and then we ask them about notes and health
All
considerations.
right, what do you mean by distinguishing marks? We said tattoos, but what else do you have
Well,
there?
such things that many people forget. Pierced ears.
Okay.
Not everybody has
I
pierced
don't have a
ears,
pierced ear. I'm good.
especially with children. People they forget that.
All right. Well, what about seniors?
How about
What-
scars?
Scars.
Operational scars. Some of them are hidden from view, but that doesn't matter. What if they have to identify you down the road and
Well,
you're
let's just say
really
you hit
know,
your head and you're unconscious. Let's
There you
not
go.
go mortality route, but it's just something unconscious.
Yeah. Right.
You might have, for instance, I've got scars all over my hands from doing crazy things around my garden and
Exactly.
and things like that. And my wife would say, "Yeah, he's got a scar right on his thumb, where I
Right.
put a
Yeah, well, you
big
also
old
have warts and moles and things like that. There's a
Exactly.
lot of
Freckles.
So,
Freckles, yeah.
it's a quick ID. Okay, and we said tattoos, and if we had on there what the tattoo said.
Right.
Okay. And you said health issues, like what?
Okay, health issues, we put down notes on health issues such as
False teeth.
or asthma,
Which I have.
or maybe they're sugar diabetic,
Okay,
or they need
I've
medication
known
should
enough
they be
seniors
found.
in my life to say, that's none of your business, sonny.
Well, again, like I said, we do not retain the information,
Right.
and the person who's putting the information in hears it, and he's supposed to be basically an individual, and most of the volunteers that I know, they're typing, they type it in, and then they're done with
Okay.
it.
And the thing I would include with this concept now is, I don't know if you've done this, or Reed, if you've done this, but wherever we travel, we always have on a little tiny card all the medications that we're on. And if I was a senior and I had this card, I would have this card right next to that information in my wallet at all times. Uh-oh.
Good idea.
Ramp time.
Ramp time.
Ramp time, okay.
Time for a wonderful, wonderful leak ramp. We all call them leaks up here. I don't know why.
I don't know either. Crunch. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so we'll let him enjoy this. What's the next thing we got to put in
Okay.
there?
Then we put in phone numbers, and we have 3 contact numbers. First would be the phone, and some people tend to put their own phone in when it's for them.
Yeah.
With seniors, we suggest that they put in a family member.
Great idea.
Because who's the person that the law enforcement agency is going to contact? You're the one they're looking for.
Right.
Okay.
So you want to put in a family member that they can contact to come and get you.
How time flies, because today now you can put in their phone. Most most seniors have a phone they carry around, a cell phone.
Right.
Right.
The best thing to do is call them, say, where are you?
Right.
Well, what if the senior is down and out?
Well, you have to ring it more than once then.
Well, what I was thinking here too, folks, is let's say you're at a restaurant and you have a little mini stroke. You can't talk. You can't
exactly.
move. Take out they look in your wallet and there's the ID with phone numbers of your kids or relatives or whatever.
This is very handy.
And then the
This
address.
is great stuff.
The address of the individual.
Okay, so we get a hold of the person right away. All right, let's
Correct.
keep rolling. So
And then we go on and we do what we call fingerprinting.
fingerprinting.
Now, the fingerprinting process, many people get nervous because of inks.
Yeah, it's pretty
I'm not-
messy.
And we're not like law enforcement agency where they still use inks in a lot of places. Not all of them, but a lot of them still do. But we use a little device. It's called a
Okay.
fingerprint device.
Does it?
If he
does
wants to show that on there, I don't know.
Okay.
Can you see it?
Okay, turn it.
There you go.
There you go.
And that's all it
There
is.
you
It's just a little, we call it, it's just a fingerprint device.
So how's this work?
And what it does, basically, take your finger, if I may.
Is it
your
gonna hurt?
thumb. Not at all.
It looks like it's hot. Is it
Yeah,
hot?
it's
Actually, no. That is, it's just like a photograph. It takes
All
a
right, here we
photograph.
go.
I'm going to do just your index finger. We press it to the machine. That's all it does once it flashes.
Is it on there now?
It's on there now. I can take and delete this, and we can redo it.
Yeah,
just to
let's
show
do
you.
that real quick. All right, folks, this is just like taking a picture, all right? And what Lee's going to do is he's going to take a couple of my fingerprints, and then we can show you the screen here when it pops up. So
Right.
here's the first one.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready. Here we go.
Okay.
There you are.
There's your second print.
There's nice. Yeah, it's right there. All right,
Now
let's
we
do a
can do
thumb.
a
Let's do a
thumb.
thumb. I like thumbs.
And there's your thumbprint.
Oh my gosh, that was easy.
Very easy. And it goes fairly fast. And then once we're done with all of the
Now, where do these
fingerprints,
fingerprints go?
they go on there's a paper, a form, that will be printed when I'm done here
Okay.
with the fingerprints on it.
So it's not going to the FBI.
Not going anywhere but to the individual who is being
No
processed.
law
right.
enforcement.
Or
They're
the
law
kept-
parent
enforcement.
in
They're
the
kept
case of the
secret.
child.
All right.
Move on to the next. We have a little camera.
Ooh.
I have a sample program where I use the little teddy bear.
It sort of looks like me.
Okay,
Oh, you take
yeah.
my picture?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Okay. We take a couple front views, and then we ask the individual to turn their head to the side.
Why?
Because, believe it or not, if an individual were kidnapped or in a car, what does law enforcement see? The side of the head as the car goes by.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
All
Plus, on top of that, the ear patterns on every individual is like a fingerprint.
Okay.
No two are the same.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'll look at Randy.
We get this camera right because I'm hand holding this. There we go. Okay, now we do the other side.
Other side. All right.
Yes, sir.
Because you have different ears.
Yeah, I carry two with me all the time. Carry a spare.
Well, it gives law enforcement that perspective.
Okay, let's look at the
of
screen over here. Let's see how I
past.
look. I look pretty good.
So now, once we're done with this, we move on to the very next screen.
And what becomes of these pictures?
They're stored temporarily in, in memory.
Not the FBI.
No.
I'm asking these questions
These
over and over again because you know they're going to ask you that over and over again. I'm just testing them, folks.
And I'm ready for it.
All right.
It will be stored onto or burnt onto the CD, which goes to the parent. Once we're done, and I'll show you that at the end, that we flush it off.
Okay. Hey, I look pretty good there.
So now we get to what they call this the summary sheet. This is the sheet we print out.
All right.
Which I'm going to do right now.
Now, who gets this?
The parents.
All right. And what about if I'm a senior citizen?
The senior citizen will give it to the senior who's being processed.
All right.
But hopefully they would give that to a responsible offspring.
Okay.
Or somebody who takes care of them.
All right.
Guardian or
Somebody you
whatever.
like. We have a phone number for you. Jeff, do we have a phone number that people can contact? I think we had that. Brett, I don't know if that's popped up or not. There we go.
There you go.
Okay, now who will they get if they call this number?
They would get me for right now, and I can refer them, or I can take down the information for events. And I am one of the committee members, and I can help set up an event if you need it.
All right, now how much does it cost?
Absolutely nothing.
Do you do house calls?
All we need is a table.
Oh, that's a good question.
And power for the computers.
You want to know if you do house calls?
No, we haven't done house calls yet, but I'm not going to say no because I'd have to.
Well, there's a good point because let's say there's
Yeah.
someone that's invalid or doesn't have the means to get out.
Well, that's why I said we'd have to make some kind of an arrangement.
I'm going to put this right over my shoulder. You can look at this.
Right.
My smiley face, but I'm not teddy bear. Okay. So there's my picture, fingerprints, and okay, I'll give you this. All right, so it's free of charge.
Correct.
I can call you at that number, and this is for churches, senior citizen groups, schools. Okay, because we could do children and seniors, right? Either way.
Right.
But we're talking about seniors right now. It could be Linda Spalding's group with the Office of the
Correct.
Aging or whatever. Super. Okay.
Correct.
So
We also go in and we like on some community events. We have Fireman's Day. We do at Home Depot. We do the county fair.
Oh yeah.
We go to I believe it's Children's Day in Silver Creek at the park. We do park events. We go to baseball fields, and in Jamestown we've gone to 2 baseball fields down there and done this.
All right. So now what becomes this paper?
Well, this paper, when it's all done, we take and we cut off the bottom of it.
Okay.
I'll turn it around so he can see it. We cut off this bottom part right here and fold it in half and laminate it.
Looks sort of
and
like a
that's your
driver's
ID
license,
card.
doesn't it?
That's what this becomes
all
right here.
All right.
Okay? And
I think I look
this
better
is what
than
you
that
stick
bear.
in your wallet.
All
The
right.
rest of this, you would take it and we put it in an envelope for you usually, or a bag. You could take and store this in a very safe place. Again, it's confidential information. It's your information. So store it where it can't be retrieved by somebody breaking into your house or whatever.
As you've been emphasizing repeatedly, one more time, no law enforcement agency gets this.
Right.
Nobody gets it but you.
There you go.
If when you get home and you need to use it, there's a form that's on the CD. We also give you a copy of that form that is for Criminal Justice Bureau of Missing.
Well, you would give
Children,
it to law
I believe it
enforcement
is.
if there was an emergency.
Right, and
What's-
that's when you would give it to law enforcement.
have to
Where
give
is
it to
this
them.
so-called
That's
CD
right.
then? Where is the CD? I don't even see
Well,
it.
the CD is in the computer. We
There
burn
you
it.
go. Oh, it's just a
This
little
is-
one.
This is what the CD would look like. It's very easy to store.
You could put that in your wallet practically, huh?
Okay.
It is tiny.
Yeah.
It's very easy to store. There would be a name of the individual, the first name, and a date that we did it. So that if you're worried about getting it done again next year, we'll do this for
In
children.
case my hair turns gray, I would want to get it updated, right?
I think we're late on that one.
Cut my beard off or whatever.
Look at me.
All right.
But anyhow, with children, we recommend they do it twice a year. With adults, at least once a year, and if they're changing or, because as we get older, we tend to change quickly sometimes, twice a year with them also.
Lose weight, change your hair.
And we do not, like I said, we do not charge for the CD, we do not charge for the ID, nor do we charge for the printout.
Where do you get all your money?
Masons raise it.
Oh, they use it.
We
for
have
the public.
we have a fund within the Masons we call the Brotherhood Fund, and that's contributed by the different members of the organization.
Comes right out of your own pocket then,
Comes
huh?
right out of our own pocket.
But if you see
it's
things
something that
like
we to
golf
do.
tournaments or chicken barbecues
Yeah.
that the Masons put on and other kinds
Right,
of things,
exactly.
much like the Rotary, all service organizations, we depend on people to come out and help us out, and
there you go.
this money goes right back in the community.
Right
Well,
back into
we're
it.
running sort of slow on time now. If somebody wanted to become a Mason, what do they do? You call the Mason, say, I want to be a Mason, or what do you do? Incidentally, you have ceremonies, and they used to be secret, but now you see them widely on television.
Right.
The
History
whole thing.
Channel.
So,
Yeah.
so it's no longer secret. But what do? I want to be a Mason.
If you wanted to be a Mason, you would probably run into an individual who's wearing the sign or the symbol.
Right, like a symbol
And
I
you
have
can
on.
approach him and ask him
He's
if
a
he's a
shirt.
Mason, and you can ask him, I want to be a Mason. He would get you a petition, and then you would fill out the petition, return it to him, and then he would take it back to the lodge, and they would process it and then vote on it accordingly.
You go on internet, you go
Yep.
to the New York State Masons.
Just put in Mason to Google.
Yeah, just
probably.
Google it, New York State
Well,
Masons.
actually, the website address for New York Masons is www.newyorkmasons.org.
There you go.
So,
Okay.
easy.
Well, I appreciate John Hamels and Lee Roof, your time on this Saturday morning, coming and telling us a little about the Masonic ID program, which is heralded and famous all over the country, actually. You do it everywhere.
Right.
And it is the one positive ID program that is kept secret, excepting if you want to turn it over to someone. And it is a very, very powerful way of finding a child and a senior who has probably Alzheimer's or something, which we hear about all the time. They go
Right.
wandering and disappear. Okay, so would you wrap up? I'll give you 30 seconds. Go ahead,
Okay.
John.
Well, like you said, when we're done with the process, if you want to,
Yeah.
you can't see it not with the camera there, but anyhow,
I can keep talking, not a worry.
we take and we hit a button on here, it says erase or start over, and the file that were stored in memory are no longer existent. They're never written to the hard drive or
they're
the
gone.
storage device on here. And
Okay, we're out of here, John. They just told me. It's adios. Thank you very much. How time flies when you're having fun.
No problem.
Thanks,
I will
Lee.
have to stop and get mine because I'm beginning to lose it a little bit myself.
It's the ramps.
That's the ramp.
Ramps.
Or the leaks. Guys, thank you for listening in. It's the last caller. I'm sorry we didn't get you. You came in too late. But in the meantime, you'll be back sometime, right?
yes, I'd be glad to.
I love to talk about the Masons because they're a huge service organization worldwide, and the oldest and the best. They do basically give so much to our communities. I want to thank certain people out there: Chuck Kelsey, Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Randy Burt. Happy birthday, Randy Burt! Chris Remaker, Jeff Zook, Don Zenz, and last but not least, John Hamels. May you all guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Don't forget your mama tomorrow.
There you go.
That's Mother's Day is the 12th, right? And you cannot forget Mama. Take her out to a nice dinner, schmooze her, and tell her how lucky you are to have her for Mama, because if it weren't for her, you wouldn't be. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. I'm Reed Powers.